Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a very pleasant night to you, my pack, and welcome back once more to Vega Conflict, and it's time for the next vessel. Today we're going to talk about the Pestilent, and it is the red faction's vessel. And no, I'm never going to learn their names because they're boring. The only ones I need to remember are the Guardians, because they're the most entertaining farming faction. But enough of that, let's get right into the stats. It is a Juggernaut, which means that it is the cruiser of the tier, and it has a base 2-hour repair time. It has an effective range of 0 to 5,000 meters. It has 400,000 hit points, and it can weigh in at up to 19,000 tons at Mark 1. It has a forward speed of 600 meters per second, so that makes it among the fastest among the Juggernauts so far. It has a high rotation speed of 40 degrees per second, straight speed talking about a ship that's from an infection-based faction. I'm dying over here. Much better. But it has a straight speed of 260 meters per second, a reverse speed of 100 meters per second, and the ever so common 600 astronomical units per hour, up until elite when it goes up to 720. As for modifiers, we'll take a look at the infected aggression and the resistance in a minute. You have the standard 400% increase against Spectre, Retrocider, and Retrosyn whenever you're dealing damage, and 50% increase against the Blood Rebellion. And just like the vessel from yesterday, the Stinger, you have a 100% module damage increase, and a 70% resurgence. Alright, infected aggression. As the Pestilent Juggernaut is attacked. Okay, so it charges by being attacked instead of attacking. And after it is activated, its weapons can trigger damage over time effects. And the trigger threshold 70%. It has the 0% charge rate via attack. It has 10% per second for defense. A charge cooldown delay of 10 seconds. A drain rate of 100% per second. And the delay of 5 seconds. So after 5 seconds, it will just instantly drain it all, and it takes 7 seconds to enter it. That damage over time doesn't seem like much, so let's actually take a look at the details itself. Duration, 10 seconds, so it'll do about 20,000 damage. And the damage threshold is 20,000 damage. 1 damage per interval. And every 1 second. So same as we've always seen, basically. Have to give it a shot later on. Well, actually, for me recording right now, it'll be later on, but for all of you, it'll be in just a few minutes. And resistance-wise, we're looking at 100% resistance to Altarian, Umbra, Pharmacon, Spectre, Retrociders, Retrosyn, and 50% for Vega Alliance, 100% void resistance, 50% radiation resistance, 100% Blight Nebula resistance, and 10% essence resistance. And as you can probably tell, with them resisting radiation so heavily, that's just because it's their faction's damage type. Let's hop over to the store and take a look at the new weapons and their new armor. We're looking at the Infection Emitter 1, and it has an overcharge detail, so nice. Always love seeing those little weird things. With, let's see, radiation damage per second of 16,250. Not bad, it's just like all the other fairly short-range fast-firing ones. It weighs 2,350 tons, which is pretty much everything at this tier because they're all uniform. With a range of 0 to 4,000 meters, it'll probably be decent in some situations and bad in others. I could think they'd be best pretty much at point blank due to the 4,000 meters per second projectile speed. As I haven't used them, I can only guess, but I'm just going to assume that they have no homing capabilities or anything like that. Unless it's a beam weapon. Projects a burst of radiation in the target enemy's hulls. Okay, so burst, that kind of makes it sound like it's just a ray of some kind. As for the overcharge details, max is at 60%, charges at 15% per second, and it has a 5-second duration. Alright. That's it for that. And now for the invasive warts. What do they have now? Weighing in at 2,350 tons. Has a defensive power of 425,592. Again with the oddly specific numbers. I love when they do that. Defense value of 95%. And it has a radiation reduction of 40%, munition resistance reduction of 10%, and an essence reduction of 20%. And health, 125,000 hit points, has 5% munition resistance, 30% essence resistance, and that makes sense because they are specifically countering the green faction, which uses essence. And then it has absolutely no radiation resistance, and they even have it double stacked there. That's weird. Was it like that on the biomechanical armor? No, it wasn't. That's odd. Huh. I'll find out a little bit more later on, but for now, let's send you over to the gameplay. Then I'll get you all on your way again. Okay, time to play around with the Pestilent. I got 2 of them, as I said. You got 48,000 damage per second, 48, almost 49. Health-wise, not the best. Shield-wise, not the best. Let's go hit the whatever grove target. Okay, it was the Willow A target.
Attacking, sir.
Okay. Certainly is set up. I'll probably want to go for the damage dealer, so them. Oh, okay, never mind. They are more or less like thermal beams. And I know what I just said about going after the damage dealers. I just focused so heavily on the tank there. This is probably going to end in a failure because 2 is getting focused on and they have absolutely no regeneration. Okay, so the emitter is actually a beam weapon. And it looks like you're going to need 4 or 5 ships to reliably take this fleet out. Better tactics than just blindly rushing in. Oh, that's how that ends. Back to the other part of the recording, and that's it. And that's it. Whatever I just reacted to or whatever, I don't know, because that's future me taking care of that. But for now, everybody, I'm going to call it good, and I'm going to get you all on your way. So, be safe out there, happy hunting, and as always, I'll see you later.